Before a single wire gets cut on your property, there is one absolutely crucial step you've got to take. Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving deep into Georgia's electrical licensing framework. Whether you're a homeowner doing a quick renovation or a property manager overseeing a massive build, verifying your electrician's credentials is quite literally the most important thing you can do. And we're going to show you exactly why.
$500. Yep, you heard that right. That is the civil penalty per day per violation that can be slapped on when unlicensed electrical work happens. And operating without a license in Georgia, that's not just a slap on the wrist, it's actually a Class 1 misdemeanor. Hiring an unverified electrician is a massive legal and financial liability waiting to happen. So let's make sure you know exactly how to protect yourself.
So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover why verification matters, decoding Georgia licenses, how to actually search for those licenses, understanding what the statuses mean, troubleshooting and reciprocity, and finally some pro tips and a quick disclaimer.
Let's jump into Section 1. Why verification matters.
Listen, under Georgia law, specifically Title 43, doing electrical work without the right license is a serious offense. It's definitely not some minor administrative oversight. See, the state board only has disciplinary power over licensed individuals. So if you run into a catastrophic issue with an unlicensed operator, the board can't just revoke their license because, well, they don't have one. Instead, the state board has to refer those unlicensed folks directly to local law enforcement for criminal prosecution. Verifying your contractor ahead of time is absolutely critical for your protection, your safety, and honestly, just your peace of mind.
Moving right along to Section 2, decoding Georgia licenses. Georgia actually draws a really strict line when it comes to project scopes. They divide electrical contractor licenses into two distinct classes. First, you've got a Class 1 restricted license. This one's limited to single-phase electrical installations that do not exceed 200 amps at the service drop. That's basically what you're going to see for standard residential work. But if your project involves three-phase power, or it's a larger service that goes over 200 amps, which you see a lot in commercial buildings or huge custom homes, you absolutely must have a Class 2 unrestricted contractor. If a Class 1 contractor even attempts a Class 2 job, they're legally considered to be practicing without a license.
Now, here is a massive curveball that trips so many people up. Georgia licenses individuals, not electrical companies. You can't just go into the state database and search for Bob's Rapid Electrical. The state doesn't issue a license to the LLC, and it definitely doesn't license every single apprentice pulling wire on your site. You have to search for the individual contractor who is acting as the legally responsible party for that company. So, always ask the company, hey, who is the specific license holder for this project?
All right, Section 3, how to actually search these licenses.
The good news is the state has streamlined this whole thing with the Georgia Online Application Licensing System, beautifully abbreviated as GOLS. It's super easy. Step 1, you just access the GOLS portal right through the Georgia Secretary of State's website. Step 2, select the individual search route and type in the legal name of that responsible electrical contractor we just talked about. And finally, Step 3, once you pull up their profile, look at their license class and make sure it actually matches your project's phase and amperage requirements. The whole shebang takes like 2 minutes and it gives you total transparency.
Now for Section 4, understanding those statuses.
Finding a name in the database is only half the battle. You really have to decode the status they're in. If it says active, you've got a green light. They're in good standing and totally authorized to pull permits. But if you see lapsed late renewal or just lapsed, that is a hard red light, folks. It means they missed their deadlines, the license is expired, and they are strictly prohibited from practicing or contracting. Seriously, do not let them start work or pull permits until that is totally resolved.
But there is one status that always freaks people out: active renewal pending. If you see this, literally do not panic. All this means is the contractor submitted their renewal application and paid the fees right on time, but the state board just hasn't finished processing the paperwork yet. We all know government paperwork can be a little slow, right? Under Georgia law, contractors with this specific status are fully and legally authorized to keep working and obtaining local permits. So don't accidentally fire a perfectly good electrician just because the state is taking its time pushing paper.
Let's head into Section 5, troubleshooting and reciprocity. So what happens if you're dealing with an out-of-state contractor? Well, Georgia shares borders and a lot of commerce with nearby states, so they have a formal reciprocity program for electrical contractors. If a highly qualified contractor holds a current, unrestricted license that they got by passing an exam in Alabama, Louisiana, North Carolina, South Carolina, or Tennessee, Georgia can actually waive the standard PSI trade exam for them. They do still have to apply through goals and pass the Georgia Business and Law exam, but this reciprocity is a real game changer because it allows great talent to cross state lines without
without a ton of friction. Okay, but here's a massive trap you definitely want to avoid. A state-level license, even a totally unrestricted Class 2 one, absolutely does not waive local municipal rules. Even a perfectly licensed contractor still has to go and pull local city or county permits before they start on your house. Plus, while Georgia doesn't ask for state-level bonds for electrical contractors, a ton of local jurisdictions require them to post local bonds anyway, usually between $1,000 and $5,000 when they're pulling those local permits. So always double-check with your local building department.
Wrapping things up with Section 6, tips and our final disclaimer.
If you take away just one single thing from this explainer today, let it be this golden rule. Verify before hiring. Search the individual license and match the project. Don't just check the company name. Find the actual person. Don't just see if they have a license. Make sure their class limitation, whether that's the 200 amp limit for Class 1 or the big unrestricted Class 2, actually fits the technical reality of your specific job. And for sure, make sure their expiration date easily clears your project timeline.
Quick disclaimer here, guys. Licensing laws, government portals, and fee structures are living, breathing things. They are going to shift and update over time. The goals portal we walked through today is the current standard, but you've always got to rely on the official government portals, specifically the Georgia Secretary of State's website, for the absolute final word on current rules and regulations.
So I want to leave you with this question. Have you actually checked your electrician's license and geos yet? If you've got a project on the horizon, pause this explainer and go check right now. It is incredibly empowering to take control of your property's safety. Drop a comment below if you successfully verified your contractor using these steps. We love hearing your success stories. And hey, if you found this breakdown helpful, go ahead and like and subscribe for more explainers that make complex regulations a total breeze. Until next time, stay curious and keep building smart.